Hey y'all, what's up? We are live in the flesh. Okay. Today we're talking about things I would have done if I could start over again from the beginning. I am going to I'm switching off the heads of my tripod here real quick because we're also going to go live on Instagram. But the replay is only going to be here. So I'm so glad that you are here if you're here watching this on YouTube. But I am super excited to talk about this. I'm really honestly, I've been excited to talk about everything. It's nothing that I come on here that I'm not excited to talk about because I am very, very strategic with the use of my energy. And so, listen, I'm not just going to show up just because I'm going to show up and I'm going to show up on fire. So, and today, and as you see over the next 10 days, if you've ever watched me live before, I'll be going live every single day over the next 10 days. I am doing a little bit of a cleanse, a detox. I don't even know what I would want to call it. I guess it's a cleanse and detox. It's not necessarily a fast because it's not connected. I mean, everything is connected spiritually, but I'm not doing it for a specific spiritual purpose. I'm kind of doing it to just give my body a reset and kind of just get some clarity as I move forward towards the end of this year and kind of transition into a new space that I've tried to transition to many times before and just I never stick it out. So I decided, hey, I'm going to kick this off with a 10-day cleanse. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because if you watch me over the next 10 days, you'll probably be like, this feels a little bit different. Like her energy is a little bit different. She's a little bit more like she's on 10, and I am on 10 because I'm going through a cleanse. And anytime I'm on a cleanse, my energy goes through the roof, y'all. This is probably something that you probably never heard anybody say this before, but for me personally, when I go through a cleanse, it feels like, for one, I get an immense sense of clarity. I'm also able to make decisions easier. I become a lot more decisive. I'm a lot more energetic. I'm a lot more, do I want to use the word prophetic? I don't think I want to use the word prophetic. I also don't want to use the word empath because I learned earlier this morning that empath is an occultic term, which I did not know. I've never actually called myself an empath, but I do have that gift of like discernment, I guess you would say, and just being able to see and feel things that are on other people. So when I fast or when I do a withdrawal, like a major extreme withdrawal with my eating, I get a lot of clarity in those areas, and it's mental clarity. So if you're in a place, and maybe I was meant to say that because if you're in a place where you're feeling a lack of mental clarity and you're having to make decisions and it's hard for you to make those decisions, my number one recommendation is 110% do a detox, do a cleanse, whatever you want to call it. If you are actually going to be committing yourself in prayer, you can call it a fast, but definitely get it done. Definitely do it. So I'm going to go ahead and type the title down here. 4 things I would do if I was starting my coaching business all over. This is going to be an excellent learning experience. This is going to be an excellent learning experience. I'm just going to go ahead and tell y'all right now. So if you're watching this right now on Instagram, I'm also live on YouTube. The replay will only be available on my YouTube. It will not be available anywhere else, okay? I need y'all to come on over to my YouTube. Like, seriously, just come on over because I have a lot of great content there. I went back last week and actually released some of the free classes that I did the year before, well, last year and the year before last year. All the free webinars I did, I re-released them on YouTube. So if you missed anything last year, the year before that, you're welcome to go back and watch. There's a lot of good topics, a lot of good evergreen content that's really going to help you out, okay? So let's get into this. I got my notes here on my sticky pad. there are a lot of things that I wish I would have done differently when I transitioned into offering coaching. If you're new here, my name is Coach Kelly Marie. I've been a full-time entrepreneur since 2017. So I am currently in my 7th year as a full-time entrepreneur. I became full-time when I was 23. So I don't know much of anything else other than entrepreneurship. My mother is an entrepreneur. Her name is Coach Kelly J. You might have seen her. You might have seen us together this weekend or last weekend at some of the conferences here in Atlanta. She's a master certified life and business coach. She has been a business owner since I was about 7 years old. My father, his name is AJ. You might know him inside the Flick. He's been a real estate investor since the mid 90s. So when I tell y'all, I don't know much else outside of entrepreneurship. I don't know much else outside of mental strength, persistence, resilience, capacity, emotional intelligence. I really don't. Like, I really grew up in this thing. And so my perspective is a little bit different from other people's, which I totally welcome. I appreciate all perspectives from different walks of life. But that's me. I'm an entrepreneurship baby. I'm a 3rd generation entrepreneur. My grandfather was also an entrepreneur. He was a chef in the 70s. So it's been a long time coming. But yeah, so I started off as, when I went full time, I started off as a virtual assistant. I had a niche. My copywriting was my niche. And so I love communication. I love writing. And so I was a service-based business provider. Like, I'm still a service-based business provider, by the way. I love providing services to other businesses. I love helping other people accomplish their vision. Okay, so I didn't become an entrepreneur because I didn't want to have a boss. Because when you're a service-based business owner, your clients are kind of like your boss, right? You do everything that they need you to do in order to get the job done. So I was service-based, primarily only selling services for 2 or 3 years. After that first 2 or 3 years, I officially went into coaching. So I've been a coach now for about 5 years, okay? The transition, because I didn't leave services to become a coach, I added coaching on top of my services. Do we have any service-based business owners in the audience? Just drop me a yes in the chat if you currently own a service-based business. It could be B2B services. It could be B2C services. Like, you could be in beauty. You can be in health. You can be in wellness. You can be a coach of some sort, because coaching, coaching is a service, but we'll get into that later. But any type of services that you do for other people, virtual assistant, CPAs, PR, branding, marketing, graphic design, website, SEO, all of that services, right? So when I made that transition from leaving services or only providing services to providing services in coaching, what I did not realize is that coaching, when you add coaching to your business, it's almost like adding a whole new business. It's almost like adding a whole new business. And the person who is going to purchase coaching from you is most likely different from the person who's purchasing services. And so there are a lot of differences in how you market coaching versus how you market services. The workload increases when you add on coaching to your services. It can if you don't do it correctly, right? It can if you don't do it correctly. And so there's a lot of things that I wish I knew. But this is going to help you guys if you are services transitioning to adding coaching. This is also going to help you if you are not even in services. Like, if you're just completely new to business and you say, you know what, I think I want to be a mentor. I think I want to have a membership. I think I want to have a mentorship program. I think I want to create an online course. I think I want to do a coaching program. I'm completely new to this. This is going to help you. All right. So step one, the first thing I wish I would have done is I wish I would have offered one-on-one first. Now, I did offer one-on-one first, but I think I waited too long to transition to group. That was my issue. I did one-on-one for a really long time, and one-on-one is great for fine-tuning your messaging, fine-tuning your marketing, getting down into the meat of really what you want to do. Like, that's what one-on-one is really good for. But it is also very time-consuming, and so it took me too long to move from one-on-one to group. When I finally moved to group, it was amazing. Moving from one-on-one coaching and services to services and group coaching is what took me from $10,000 to $15,000 months. And then I did some other things that took me from $15,000 to $20,000 months. But what took me from 10, like barely making 10K to making 15K easy, was adding on group coaching to my services instead of having one-on-one to my services. Because one-on-one and services got me from 8 to 10. Okay, it got me from 8 to 10. But if I had to start over, I would focus on one-on-one coaching first. I know that it looks nice to say I'm doing this group coaching program. And if you're doing services, like you're providing services right now, or if you still work a 9 to 5, thinking about offering one-on-one coaching seems like it's going to be a time crunch, and it seems like it's going to take up a lot of your energy and space. But I promise you, you need to start with one-on-one coaching. I cannot say that enough, okay? Jumping into group coaching is a bad idea, because I'm not saying that it's not going to work, but it's going to take a lot longer for it to work. It's going to be a lot harder for you to like fix your messaging when you do group coaching. There's a lot of other mindset issues that come into play when you do group coaching, right? Like with group coaching, you are managing more than one person's personalities. You are having to coach multiple personalities and different learning styles in one room. And with group coaching, you have to have a curriculum that is already solidified. I mean, you can change your curriculum, but you need to start off with what you consider to be a solidified curriculum, meaning your curriculum needs to be validated. It needs to be backed by not just experience, but it needs to be backed by client results. So before you jump into offering a group coaching program, you need to have your framework figured out. You need to have your curriculum outlined, and you need to have ran that program with some beta testers before you go into group coaching, okay? And it's a lot easier to go one-on-one before you go group. A lot easier to go one-on-one before you go group, okay? When you go one-on-one, you don't have to worry about how many people are signing up. You don't have to worry about opening and closing doors. Like having a live launch is a whole process you have to learn in itself. And you guys know I'm really big on systems. So it's a whole nother process having to live launch. The doors are open, the doors are closed, the doors are closing in 24 hours. Oh, somebody comes after enrollment's closed. You can't join. You've already started. You got to wait until next round. Am I even running a next round? Is next round going to look like this round? Like that's all that stuff happens when you're in group coaching. And if I just said all of that off the top of my tongue and you were like, what the heck is she saying right now? You need to start with one-on-one coaching. One-on-one coaching is where you discover your niche. It's where you discover your framework. It's where you discover the best pieces of your curriculum. And it's where you discover how you need to show up in order to book clients for group coaching, okay? So number one, most definitely start off with one-on-one coaching. I cannot stress that enough. If you don't have a lot of time, that's okay. Still start off with one-on-one coaching. You can go into group coaching after you've found your legs. Like you don't even have any legs yet until you've done one-on-one coaching, okay? That's number one. The second thing I wish I would have done is I wish I would have been just as serious about my lead magnet as I was about my paid products. When I tell y'all your lead magnet can make or break your business, your lead magnet can make or break your coaching business, okay? You need a really good lead magnet, but it may take you a couple of lead magnets to find the one that's the good one. And your lead magnet needs to be valuable to the point where it's just as valuable as your paid products, because your lead magnet is the first interaction that someone has with you that's thinking about buying from you. People don't download your lead magnet if they're not thinking about buying from you, okay? They're trying to figure out if you really are who you say you are, if your programs are really as good as they say they are, if your reviews are reviews from real people, or if they're just reviews that you bought off of Fiverr. Like they're trying to really figure that out. So when someone downloads your lead magnet, it's like they're getting an appetizer from a restaurant, or they're taking your business for a test run. So you need to take your lead magnet just as seriously as you take your paid products. And I didn't. I created my lead magnets based off of what would take me the least amount of time because I knew I was giving it away for free. I didn't want to put a lot of energy into it. I didn't talk about it a lot because it was free. And I felt like I didn't have to market my lead magnet, but because it was free, it would market itself. Those are all mistakes that people make, okay? Be just as serious about your free lead magnet. And consider this, your lead magnet is what builds your email list. So if you're serious about booking more paying clients, you're going to have to build deeper relationships. And that relationship building starts with your email list. Now, if you're an in-person type of person, like you go to networking events, you talk to people, you yada, 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 like that's cool too, right? You still need a lead magnet because the lead magnet is that first exchange of information. And that's a very important exchange. You can't get to know somebody if you can't contact them after you met them. You can't get to know somebody if they come to your page and they don't download your lead magnet and they just go away. They may or may not see your posts. If you'd like to rely on the algorithm, that's on you. I'm not relying on the algorithm. It is clearly not reliable. Like, we know that. It's not reliable. So taking your lead magnet just as seriously as you take your products and making sure that your lead magnet is a good lead magnet is really important. Also consider the fact that a lead magnet doesn't always have to be free. Sometimes your lead magnet can be really low cost, like a $1 lead magnet, $5 lead magnet, $7 templates, $47 bundle, right? You want to be very strategic about it before you put a price on it. You need to have a strategy behind it, but just take your lead magnet very seriously, because the quality of people who are going to apply to be in your coaching program, the quality of people, I don't say the quality of people, the quality of clients and where their mindset is when you launch your offer. Because when you launch your offer, who are you launching to first? Your email list. Where's your email list come from? Your lead magnet. So if you're having an issue where you're launching or you've tried to launch before and nobody's signing up, or people are trying to negotiate your price, or no one's responding, it's the quality of your lead magnet that is attracting these people. You got to go back to the root and cut the problem down at the root. It starts from the source. The source is the lead magnet. So that's the second thing I wish I would have done differently. I would have created a lead magnet that was super valuable, irresistible. I would have talked about that lead magnet every single day, like it was the best thing since sliced bread. And I would have kept the same lead magnet for years. Keep the same lead magnet. When you change up your lead magnet, it changes up the person that you're attracting. And then you have to go back and change up your messaging. And you end up with an email list that is a hodgepodge mixture of people that came through different lead magnets with different thoughts in mind and different endpoints in mind. And it's really hard to market to a list like that. You end up having to super segment your list. You should be segmenting your email list anyway, but you have to over segment when you do that, okay? The third thing that I wish I would have done if I had to start my coaching business all over again, looking at YouTube. The third thing I would have done is I would have never stopped promoting or selling. Always bring in new leads. I made this mistake. Let me tell y'all. Let me sit this way. When I tell y'all I made this mistake, never stop selling. Even if you're booked out, never stop selling. Even if you don't have any time to service any clients, never stop selling. Never stop promoting your programs. Never stop promoting your lead magnet. Never, 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 never. You always need to have a wait list, okay? You should always have a wait list of people. I would go hard, talk about my services, and let's say I can't even remember how many. I didn't even have a threshold. First of all, that should be on this list, and it's not. Know your capacity, because I didn't know my capacity. So when I first started coaching, I would have 20, 30 clients. That's way too many people to be talking to in a month, okay? So know what your capacity is, because if you go into this head first, going hard, you may very well so attract 20 to 30 people that want to pay you and do pay you and show up for their coaching sessions. So be careful, set your capacity, but never stop promoting. If you know I have enough time to take on 3 one-on-one clients for the next 12 weeks, when you hit that capacity of being booked, get people on a wait list. Just because you book a client, even when you book your first client, I have people all the time that are my clients. They come, we figure out their coaching framework. I help them, figure out what's in your program, what's your curriculum. We map it all out. It only takes 90 minutes to do that, by the way. It takes 90 minutes and it costs $199 to do that with me. Get straight to the point. Don't waste time, right? But I have clients who do that and they take that information and they go book clients. And when they start booking, they start slowing down their marketing because they book the clients. And so they're more focused on working with the clients than they are with working on their marketing and their selling, which is okay. You should be focused on working with your clients. But then in the background, you need to start implementing systems that can continually market for you. You need to have posts scheduled that are still marketing your lead magnet, that are still marketing your paid services. And you need to be getting people on a wait list. So yes, focus on your clients. But once you start booking, it's now time to go back and say, okay, let's start implementing some systems here. Because if something happens with one of these clients, like if one of these clients drops off of their payment plan and they don't pay, or if one of these clients finishes and they're good and they don't resign, we need to have a way to refill that space. Or if I have these 3 client spaces and they're full and all 3 of these people resign, but I have a wait list, that's an indicator that I now need to bring in a junior coach, or I now need to bring in a new team member to help increase my capacity for the amount of people that I can serve. But you can't make those decisions if you don't have a wait list, and you can't make those decisions if you don't keep promoting, if you don't keep selling. You have to keep selling. Never stop promoting. Never stop selling. Whether it's your lead magnet or it's your signature offer, never stop selling, okay? Because you never know what's going to happen. That's how you get consistent income. When you go off and on marketing and selling, off and on promoting, off and on getting people to join your email list, off and on, it creates an income roller coaster. If you've ever been on an income roller coaster or you're on an income roller coaster now, this is most likely why. Because your selling is not, you're not consistently selling at the same level. Like some days you're selling up here, you're on 10, like I'm on 10 right now. Some days you're selling down here, you're tired. Some days you're selling right here, you're doing the bare minimum. Some days you're not even showing up because you don't have the energy. And it is totally fine to feel all of those emotions. It is totally fine to not want to show up one day. It's fine to take a break. It's fine to have days where you go hard and you're on 100, like I'm on 100 right now. But your systems are in place to create consistency. That's what systems are for. They create consistency and they create repeatable success. Who cares if you have a $10,000 a month one time? Because in a couple months, you're going to be like, dang, I wish I would have had another $10,000 a month. If you had systems in place, you would have consistency. Okay? So keep that in mind. And I do have clients, by the way, that book 90-minute deep dive sessions. We map out their entire framework, their program, and they take that and they go sell. And they book high-ticket clients off of a 90-minute $199 call. So don't hesitate to book one. If you need to figure out your framework, if you need to figure out your curriculum, we can do it in one sitting. It's not hard. Don't overthink it, okay? The 4th thing I wish I would have done if I was starting my coaching business all over again is to not overprice my low tier. Lord Jesus, I feel this in the depths of my soul. I know that everyone on the internet is telling you to raise your price, and your price should be in alignment with your value. But do not overprice your low tier. Understand that when you add coaching services, you should have, and even with services, like even with your services, you should have a low, a middle, and a high tier. It's called an ascension ladder, okay? An ascension ladder. You should have a low, a middle, and a high tier. There's a video about it on my YouTube from like literally, I think like 5 years ago, I did a video on this. I'll do an updated one, but it's still like, it's evergreen. It's still hitting, like it's still good, okay? You need to have a low, a middle, and a high. Your low is usually a do-it-yourself, DIY, self-study, do it on your own. You can figure it out. And sometimes there are things that people can't figure out on their own, and they'll go for the low ticket offer and they'll figure it out on their own. And that's totally fine. Okay. I don't care if you do it with me. I don't care if you do it on your own. I don't care if I do it for you. My goal is to get you to your goal. And that's my only concern. Whether or not I'm involved doesn't matter to me because I'm not running a business with my ego. If you feel like you have to be involved in order for someone to get a result, that is your ego speaking. We're going to take it down a notch. That's your ego. You don't have to be involved for someone to get a result. If you're a good coach, if you're a good teacher, if you're a good mentor, you don't have to be involved. You can impart the information and the knowledge and the experience that you have in other people, and they can take that and they can go do for themselves. They're able-bodied human beings. They are adults. If they want it bad enough, they're going to get it done. People who purchase do-it-yourself products are get-it-done people. Like, they are people who are like, I can do this. Like, I just need someone to tell me the direction. I just need a couple of nuggets here or there. They may purchase something just to get one gem out of it, and that is all they need. So do not look at your low-ticket buyers as, oh, they're just low-ticket buyers. No, those people are hustlers. Like, people who buy DIY products are hustlers, okay? So don't give them any less just because it's a DIY. Give it to them the same exact way, okay? So you have your do-it-yourself. That's normally your low tier because it doesn't involve any live energy from you. You do not have to show up at a certain time. It's literally just you making something and the person can buy it, access it, and use it how they please. Then you've got your middle tier of your ascension ladder, which is your done with you. Normally this is done with you. So this is group coaching. This is one-on-one coaching. We're doing things together. I'm helping you figure stuff out. We're in the weeds together. We're doing this, okay? That's done with you. That's normally a middle tier. Then you have done for you, which is I just come in and do it for you. We may meet to strategize, or we may meet so that I can get to better know your needs, but you just come in and I do it for you, or you don't even have to come in and I do it for you. And that is normally the highest tier. It does not matter what type of service you offer. It doesn't matter how you help people, why you help people, what you offer. You can always and should always have a middle, low, and high. You can always and should always have a DIY, a DWY, which is done with you, and a DFY, which is done for you. Always, okay? It helps balance out the revenue generation. It helps create more consistent income. That's what it does. It stabilizes your business. Okay, it stabilizes your business. So your DIY, don't overprice your low tier. Like, people be like, all I have is this $2,500 or $5,000 offer, and that's it. Everything else is, I don't have anything else, or everything else is free, right? You can do that, but you're going to have very unstable income. Like, and there are a lot of people that are teaching that, but I'm going to tell you right now, from experience, your income is going to be all over the freaking place. Okay. You are not going to be able to, like, especially if you're trying to like save money to buy a house or something like that, or if you're trying to open up a brick and mortar location, or if you're trying to build your credit or get your business credit together, like whatever, personal, whatever, it's going to be very hard to do it if your business model is set up like that. I'm trying to help y'all right now, because I'm not just going to sell y'all whatever just to try to sell y'all. I'm not going to do that. I win when you win. And if you're not winning consistently and sustainably in your God purpose, what are we doing right now? We could just go clock in and clock out somewhere, and life could be easy. And I could just wait for somebody else to give me directions, and I could do the bare minimum and collect my paycheck. Sounds very easy and very nice, but it's not very fulfilling. That's not what we're here for. It's not very fulfilling, okay? Especially if that's not your God assignment. So what I want you to be careful of is not overpricing your low tier. I, after providing services for so long, got into a place where I was like, if I'm offering a DIY, like if I'm doing a self-study course, or if I'm offering a ebook or whatever, I'm not pricing it low, because my my knowledge is worth a lot of money, and it is worth a lot of money. But if you overprice your low tier product, you won't get any quality paying leads. The leads you get from your lead magnet are people who would download your stuff for free. But as we know from experience, and if you guys are experiencing it, you know this, everyone who downloads your lead magnet is not always a buyer. Sometimes people who download your lead magnet are freemium people. They seek free things, but they're not really serious enough to buy yet. So you have to be careful. You definitely want to promote it. But if you're having an issue where I've got all these people on my list, they downloaded this free lead magnet and they're not buying, well, number one, it could be a messaging error. Like it could be messaging that needs to be adjusted. But also you may want to look into doing a DIY product and marketing to those people. Because someone who buys, even if it's just $10 or $5 or $20, someone who makes a low ticket purchase is someone who's willing to spend money. They've got more than $20, or they're going to have more than $20. At some point in time, they're going to have more than $20. And if the thing they bought from you that was $20 was good, they're going to come back and buy something else that costs more than $20. Y'all see how that makes sense? Like buyer psychology, if I'm in a pinch and I need to grow my business and I see somebody selling a $20 ebook, but all I have is $20, I'm going to buy the $20 ebook. But then at some point in time, I'm going to have more than $20. And if that $20 ebook I bought helped me make my $20 back, then I'm going to come back to you and I'm going to buy something else that's more than $20. That's buyer psychology. So it's not always I'm going to price everything super high because my knowledge is super valuable and I've had this many years in the game and I got this much skin in the game and this much in, like I got all these strikes and whatever. It's not always that. Sometimes it is a strategic play. I need to build a list of buyers, people who are willing to spend money with me, even if it's just $5. So do not make the mistake of overpricing your ebook, overpricing your masterclass, overpricing your whatever, because somebody sat and had a conversation with you and blew your head up, and now you're running your business based off of your ego. Be careful. You got to be careful. This is why if you're a believer, you need a business coach who's a believer. I'm talking about a believer in Jesus. If you feel like your business is a part of your God assignment, if you feel like your business is a vehicle to execute your God assignment, you need a coach who's going to get on the internet and say, God, 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 Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Why? Because you don't need to be paying somebody that doesn't understand on a deep intentional level what you're doing. And I'm not the only coach who comes on the internet and says, I'm a believer in God. My Bible's right there. I got another Bible right there. I got another Bible over here. And I'm not lying. I got Bibles in my office. Okay? I'm not the only person. But what I am telling you is it's going to make a difference. Now, I ain't never had a coach that wasn't like that. I know that my business is a part of who I am. And I know that by running my business, I am intentionally fulfilling my God purpose. And I'm not doing nothing that's outside of doing what God is calling me to do. So if I'm going to ask somebody to guide me, then that person's going to need to be somebody who can intercess for me at least. Like, I need you to go to God and pray about me at least. I got on the phone with a client last week and she said, you know what? I prayed about you before I got on the phone. I said, thank you. That's the type of energy I need in my life. So be careful. Do not get a coach who is scared to talk about God in public. What? Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. You need to get a coach who you would not mind trading bank accounts with, a coach who you would not mind trading lifestyles with, a coach who shares the same values that you have, a coach who values your vision. Y'all don't know how many people I've gotten on deep dive sessions, because I do deep dive sessions. You can't just go and purchase like a whole coaching package to work with me. Okay. You have to buy a deep dive session first. That's 90 minutes that we're spending together. We're getting to know each other on a deeper level. I can sense your energy. I can get a deeper sense of who you are in 90 minutes, right? That's the first step with me. Yeah, 90 minutes. Commit to spending 90 minutes with me. It's a 90-minute day. So I do that because I need to see where you're at, not just where you're at strategically, but where you're at mentally. I cannot tell you how many times I've gotten on a deep dive session and the person says to me, I had a coach and I told my coach what I wanted to do. And my coach said, no, go this completely different direction. No, start this entirely different business. Like, you need to at least have a coach who's affirming what you're saying to them. Like, if you say something to them, they need to affirm that. Okay? So, my kingdom entrepreneurs who are watching the live stream right now, don't overprice your low tier, because when you overprice your low tier, you're running your business with your ego. And running your business with your ego is a really quick way to run your business into the ground. We're not here to glorify ourselves. We're here to glorify God. So when you overprice, what is that? When you overprice, that's what that is. You're overpricing, you're glorifying your own knowledge and leaving out the fact that you wouldn't have made it without God anyways. So your low tier needs to be accessible. Now your middle tier, you're done with you, where you're actually showing up and talking and giving energy and all of that. You price that a little bit higher. But why, right? You might be asking yourself, well, why? What's the difference in between overpricing my low tier and overpricing my middle tier? Because I see people overprice their middle tier too. Here's the difference. The reason why you price higher for your middle tier is because you need people who are just as committed as you are. And we live in a world where people put a very high price on their money, right? They have an attachment to money. And so we all know that when people pay, they pay attention. When people pay, they pay attention. So you price your middle tier a little bit higher because you want to attract people who are ready to make the sacrifice and ready to take the journey, ready to make the transition. Because everybody's not your people. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody is not your tribe. They're not. Okay. So if you want to make sure that you're not going to stress yourself out, because if you're thinking about offering coaching, whether you're completely new or whether you're coming from a different industry or you're coming from services, if you're thinking about offering coaching, it is very, very easy for you to get stressed out if you attract people who are not your people. And you can attract people who are not your people. It is possible for people to buy from you, and that's not your person. Everybody's not your assignment, okay? So when you price your middle tier, you have to think about, who is my person that I'm helping, and what amount of money is just outside of their comfort zone to the point where they're going to be 10 toes down committed to show up and do the work. Just outside of their comfort zone, not just inside of their comfort zone. Because a lot of us are pricing. Listen, she said, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. A lot of people are telling you, look at your ideal client and look at how much they make and how much they can afford, and price your program based off of how much they can afford. No, you want to price your program right outside of that, because you want to get someone who's willing to come out of Israel. I'm sorry. You want to get somebody who's willing to come out of Egypt. I'm thinking about the Israelites. You need to get somebody who is willing to take the first step out of Egypt. Otherwise, where are we going? We're not going nowhere. There's nowhere for us to go. So you need to price right outside the comfort zone. You still have to know what the comfort zone is, but you want to be right outside of that. That's your done with you. That's your done with you pricing. That's how you figure that out. So don't overprice your low tier. That's my fourth thing. So those are my 4 things. I'm going to leave this in the replay on YouTube. The replay will not be on Instagram. The replay is going to be on YouTube. Okay. The first one was do one-on-one first. One-on-one coaching first, not group coaching. Do not jump straight into group coaching. Do not jump straight into a course unless you have a proven framework. Number 2, the second thing I wish I would have done is be just as serious about my lead magnet as I was about my paid products. Don't go easy on your lead magnet just because it's free. Free items do not market themselves. Marketed items market themselves. Items that have been over-marketed market themselves. I was sitting at a conference. I was sitting in the speaker's lounge yesterday at Path to Prosperity conference. And Wall Street Trapper was in there. And he was just talking, right? He was just talking. And he was saying, I just lost my entire thought. Oh my goodness. Erase it. Just be as serious about your free lead magnet as you are about your paid product. I just lost my entire thought. I don't know where it went. But just be serious about your lead magnet, because people buy that lead magnet and they judge your entire business based off of the lead magnet. Okay. Number 3, never stop promoting. Always bring in new leads. Do not slow down the promotion just because you booked a paying client. Don't slow down. I made that mistake when Reels came out. When Reels first came out, I had maybe around 23,000 followers. I started going hard with Reels. I was going super hard. I gained 20,000 followers in 90 days, and I slowed down. I was like, let me slow down. I'm tired. I've been going hard for 3 months. Like, let me slow down. And I've been on a follower plateau ever since. When the iron is hot, you have to strike. Okay. When the iron is hot, you have to strike. So never stop promoting, never stop selling, always bring in new leads. Always be bringing in new leads, whether your doors are open for enrollment or closed for enrollment, whether you're booked or not booked, okay? You always need to be showing up as if you're not booked and you got open spaces, because you never know when God is trying to expand your territory. If you stop moving, God can't expand your territory because you're not going anywhere. You're not going nowhere. You can look in the book of Acts and you see when the body of the church was created, what was happening? They were going from city to city to city. Paul was going from city to city to city, okay? He was moving because he knew that God was expanding his territory. And so he kept moving because that allowed God to say, okay, go here, go here, go here. And then number 4, don't overprice your low tier. Running your business based off of your ego is a very quick way to diminish your business. Okay. So these are the 4 things I wish I would do. That I wish I would have done if I could start my coaching business all over again. Okay. Now, with that said, I stopped coaching in February. My last group coaching ended in February. And I took a very long break from coaching this year because I wanted to get clarity on where I was going. So I slowly started reopening in like July, August. I started reopening one-on-one. I'm not going to tell y'all, I'm never going to tell y'all to do something that I would not do. I'm never going to tell y'all to do something that I have not done. This is not the blind leading the blind over here. I'm going to tell you from exactly what I've done before and what worked for me and what hasn't worked for me. I'm going to tell you what's worked for my clients, what hasn't worked for my clients. You get all of that knowledge with me. So I've slowly started opening back up my one-on-one coaching. If you are interested in one-on-one coaching with me, and my coaching is a combination of business and mindset. So we will talk business strategy, but we will talk mindset, okay? We will definitely talk, where is your mind at? What are you feeling? What are you going through? Like, we talk about all of that, okay? Very open, very honest, very vulnerable space that I create. If you're interested in one-on-one coaching, DM me the word deep dive. We'll start with a deep dive session. In that first session, we look at your offers, we look at your systems or your lack thereof. If you don't have any, that's totally fine. Literally, you don't have to come with anything. You can be completely new. And on that session, we will map out your coaching program, your experience, how you can launch, how you can sell, what you need to do to get your first client. And you get notes from that call and you get a recording of that call so you can watch it over again if you need to. I've had clients come to that call, like I said earlier during this live, I've had clients come to that call. We put together their entire program and they go and book clients, 3-4 high ticket clients, okay? You can have a $10,000 a month with the right framework, with the right launch strategy, with the right belief system. Because you have to believe in yourself and believe in the price. And that's why my coaching is a combination of business and mindset. So if you're interested in booking a one-on-one deep dive session, I have slots available. I take calls on Tuesdays. If my Tuesdays get filled, I open up my Thursdays. But I take calls on Tuesdays. So DM me the word deep dive, and I will send you the link to book that session. It's 90 minutes. It's $199. You get the notes from the call, an action plan, and a replay of the call. We go through a lot in 90 minutes. Like I said, I've mapped out entire frameworks and curriculums in 90 minutes. It's for new and experience, but it's a reset. It's a recalibration. I feel like this year for me was a reset year. And this call for a lot of people, the deep dive session, it's a reset. It's recalibrating. This is what I had as my vision, and I feel like I've gotten way off track, and I'm trying to pull it back in. This is my vision, and I feel like it's getting blurry, and I'm not sure how to move forward, or I'm having a hard time moving forward boldly in faith. I need help. Let's discover my mindset blocks. Let's look at my business strategy. Let's look at my business model and my structure, how I'm selling, what I'm selling, why I'm selling it, my messaging, all of that we hash out in 90 minutes. Okay. All right, so DM me the word deep dive. I'm going to get off of here because I have some client work that I need to get done. I got 3 course recordings happening this week. So I'm going to go ahead and get into this client work, but thank y'all so much for joining me live. I will see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow I have an 8:30 call. So I'll see you guys tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're on my email list, I will send out an email. All right. See y'all later. Bye, y'all. Have an amazing day. Bye, y'all.